You've probably heard that Tucker Carlson and Fox News have parted ways. Or was Tucker fired? Why would one of the most popular news anchors in the world leave the network, making him millions of dollars a year of his own volition? Well, it turns out that the words parting ways, like when people say we mutually broke up, is more of saying one party says they're done and they're just trying to be nice about it. According to a source from Fox News, CEO Suzanne Scott and Lachlan Murdoch decided to fire Carlson on Friday, April 21st, but Carlson was not informed until Monday when Scott called Carlson and told him that he was being removed from his show. So today, we're going to sift through all the noise and theories about why Tucker Carlson got the axe. We're not going to dive into the political rights or wrongs because the goal of this channel is to educate and provide the facts of business with as little bias as humanly possible. Instead, we're going to focus on the business reasons why Tucker Carlson is no longer at Fox News, which do revolve around politics, but we're going to do our absolute best to be as neutral and impartial as humanly possible. If that sounds interesting and you like learning about the whys of business from an impartial source and in a fun and easy to understand way, hit that subscribe button and let's jump into why Tucker Carlson was fired. Let's start by getting you up to speed on Tucker Carlson's career. Carlson's first nationally televised role was on CNN as the co-host of the show Crossfire, in which they would debate different political topics, and Carlson represented the political right in said debates. The show was canceled in 2005 as CNN began to move away from headbutting debate-style shows at the encouragement of Jon Stewart. Tucker moved on to host a show after his own name on MSNBC for 3 years before joining Fox News as MSNBC started to become a more liberal-leaning media outlet. And over the last decade and a half, Tucker Carlson has been a prominent face on Fox News, moving from one primetime television slot to the next and pulling around 3.4 million views a show, which has far outpaced any of the other single-host shows on Fox, CNN, or any other cable news network. He's made a pretty penny over his career, and although the exact numbers are hard to come by, we know that he just re-upped his contract in 2021 to the tune of $20 million a year, and it's safe to say that he's made well over $100 million, if not $200 million in his career thus far. Throughout his time at Fox News, he's faced numerous controversies and criticisms as his opinions on immigration, gun control, and other political hot-button issues oftentimes land him in the center of heated debates. This brash style endeared him to many who held similar beliefs to him and is one of the reasons why his show was so successful. As his viewership continued to grow, his willingness to cater to what he thought his audience wanted to hear may have led to his downfall. The roots of what many people believe to be Carlson's fall began in 2018 when the investment firm Staple Street Capital acquired a 76% stake in Dominion Voting Systems for $38.8 million. 2 years later, President Donald Trump lost the 2020 election and began saying that there had been widespread voter fraud. Numerous investigations and inquiries were led to figure out if this had actually happened, but they were unable to verify these accusations. But Fox News continued to air content around this alleged voter fraud. And in many segments on these shows, they specifically accused Dominion Voting Systems of being able to, quote, manipulate the vote in any way, end quote, or like on Carlson's show, saying that the security surrounding electronic voting machines was, quote, a real issue, end quote. So Dominion Voting Systems sued Fox News for $1.6 billion, claiming that they, Fox, knowingly published false information about Dominion, which directly hurt their business as some counties in conservative-leaning states canceled contracts with Dominion Voting Systems. In their suit, they said, quote, Fox took a small flame and turned it into a forest fire. As the dominant media company among those viewers dissatisfied with election results, Fox gave these fictions a prominence that they otherwise would never have achieved, end quote. But it was Fox News, not Carlson, who was being sued, right? And lots of other hosts allowed similar content on their shows, so why did Tucker get the axe? Well, something that a lot of people don't realize, but it's really important to understand, is that the actual work of a lawsuit occurs well before the first court date. For nearly 2 years before the scheduled court date for the Dominion versus Fox lawsuit, lawyers on both sides did what's called discovery. This is the formal process of exchanging information between the parties about the witnesses and evidence they'll be presenting at trial. Discovery enables the parties to know before the trial begins what evidence may be presented or what witnesses may be called to testify. It's designed to prevent trial by ambush, which is when one side doesn't learn of the other side's evidence or witnesses until the trial, when there's no time to obtain answering evidence or anything to contradict that witness. Everything in discovery becomes public information unless specifically redacted. In the discovery process for the Dominion lawsuit itself, it came out that Tucker Carlson had made disparaging remarks not only about coworkers, but also about former President Donald Trump and top leadership at Fox News. Much of the ripping on executives at Fox News has been redacted, so we don't have access to it, but upper management at Fox saw the unredacted version. We do know some of the other stuff he said in private, and these statements can help paint a picture as to what the redacted comments might have looked like. In January of 2021, Carlson said Fox was, quote, very close to being able to ignore Trump most nights, end quote, and said, quote, I hate him passionately, end quote, referring to Trump. Carlson also called Trump a demonic force and couldn't wait until the day he didn't have to cover Trump anymore. He said this all as he was publicly espousing pro-Trump and pro-election fraud claims on his show. Again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with liking Trump. That's your own choice. That's totally chill. I'm just saying that Carlson was saying one thing and doing another. Furthering his appearance of hypocrisy, Carlson privately said that Dominion fraud claims were, quote, insane and absurd, and said that far-right attorney Sidney Powell, who pushed said Dominion fraud claims, was, quote, lying, a poison, an unguided missile, dangerous as hell, and called her an effing B-word, end quote. Not only does this hypocrisy put his credibility as a news anchor at risk, it also gives us a glimpse at how nasty potential remarks about Fox leadership could have been. Despite all the dirty laundry that got aired through Discovery, the trial never actually started because it became very clear that Fox was behind the 8 ball. And so they settled the lawsuit with Dominion for $787.5 million, which is an absolutely ridiculous amount of money and is the largest defamation settlement ever. This was good for both parties because it prevented the settlement from being bigger for Fox and made it so Dominion got the money right now rather than having to go through with years of appeals if/when Fox lost. But again, the question remains, why did Carlson get fired then? He wasn't the only host that got Fox sued. Many other television personalities like Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham said things behind closed doors that were opposite of what they were saying on their shows too. So what gives? Well, from what I can tell, Hannity and Ingraham may have defamed Dominion like Carlson did, but neither were as anti-Trump as Carlson was. Working for Fox and being anti-Trump in 2023 is pretty bad for business because most Fox viewers tend to like Trump. Hannity and Ingraham also don't currently have a lawsuit from an ex-production manager on them alleging a toxic work environment and misogynistic and anti-Semitic behavior. And Hannity and Ingraham were probably not nearly as derogatory toward Fox leadership in their private messages when compared to Carlson. So, in my opinion, the most likely reason as to why Tucker Carlson was fired was that Rupert Murdoch and his son Lachlan Murdoch decided that regardless of Carlson's popularity, the combination of his loss in credibility from the fallout of the lawsuit, loss in his appeal to Fox's base because of his statements about Trump, combined with the nasty stuff he most likely said about them that was revealed in the court proceedings and then later redacted, made the risk just not worth the reward. Why go to bat for a controversial guy who rips on you behind your back and doesn't respect you, regardless of how popular he is? But that's just my opinion after hours of research. What do you think? Do you think he should have been fired? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're still here right now, you probably enjoyed this video or at least found it informative, so consider liking it and subscribe if you want to keep learning about business and finance. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.